It's supposed to feel.
All right, welcome on in, everybody. Pirates Postgame Show. I'm Tyler. With me is Doug. Pirates lose 11-2 to the worst team I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, the
How you
worst
doing,
team
Doug?
the Pirates have ever lost to. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Right. That's the it was terrible. There's no. But listen, last year the 100 loss Pirates went 5-1 against the 100 win Dodgers. It happens. It's weird. It's unexplainable. Write it off. Whatever. I'm not feeling very good about tomorrow. Contreras hasn't looked great, but there's only one concern out of this game for me, and that's Mitch Keller. That's it. We Chase DeYoung gave up 1,000 runs, whatever. None of it matters. The only thing that matters from this game is Mitch Keller is now at least, what is that? I think it's 15 runs in 17 innings or something in his last 3 starts.
Yeah, I think there's some other concerns that we could bring up, but we can just start here with Mitch Keller. He hasn't looked good production-wise the last 2 outings. I think the stuff still looked pretty good. We thought he might have got a little unlucky the last 2 outings. Tonight, he looked very, very bad. There's not really another way to shake it. I don't want to sit here and break down like all the mechanic stuff that we saw Neil do all day. If you want to watch that, you saw it all get shoved down your throat, which there were a lot of good points brought up by them both, but just he was very out of sync today. Nothing meshed. He missed arm side. Then he tried to make an adjustment. He missed glove side. Austin Hedges, for some reason, waited till the 6th inning to decide to throw any sort of breaking stuff.
Yeah, it was an odd performance, right? I mean, it seemed like he was relying. It seemed like he was being a thrower instead of a pitcher. To go to those kind of cliches. He just didn't have control. He'd miss inside, he'd miss outside, then he'd groove it down the middle with something very hittable, and yeah, it was just bad. And again, if it was just a one-off, but like I said, the last 2 starts we've sort of made it. Oh, he pitched well, but. And last week it was all soft contact. Well, again, we're now to 15 earned runs in 17 innings. Soft contact happens. You've got to reduce that too. So, right. I mean, it's not just guys hitting the ball hard are the only ways you can get a hit. So, and 1 strikeout. After 10 starts of 8+, or no, it was 10 starts of 2 runs or less at home, and I think 6 or 7 in a row. Whatever. 1 strikeout, 2 walks in the first inning, lots of pitches. Just a ugly start.
Yeah, I think he flat out did not miss bats today. Right. All he missed today was the zone. Early on, like I said, he was arm side everything. Then sometime in the 3rd or 4th inning, you saw him try to make an adjustment and overcorrect, and all of a sudden he's yanking everything. There was just no sync in anything he was doing tonight. Austin Hedges did him no favors by not throwing anything breaking, because normally they talked about it on the broadcast as well. That's how you get your body in sync sometimes, is throw some of that. You can't just rely fastball, which he was today.
Especially if it's not working. Right.
Yeah,
if you're not located.
The 6th inning to start throwing anything other than that.
Yeah, it seemed like they didn't have a good game plan. Again, I hope we can just chalk it off. But Keller's next start, I think, is the Cubs or Brewers, whomever's next, and those division games are this is Oakland A's, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to get too hung up on that we lost to the worst team that any of us have ever seen.
Yeah,
because every team, I mean, they're going to win 50 games, right? Maybe 40.
They might win 30, but
right.
Hey, that's still 30 wins.
It's still 30 wins. That's 30 games, right? They took 2 from the Atlanta Braves, right?
Yeah.
So who are we to say that we're impervious to?
I'm not going to sit here and act like the sky is falling. Right. But I mean, it was a frustratingly embarrassing game.
Yeah.
A's did everything in their power to not beat the Pirates today, and they beat them by 9 runs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I imagine the Oakland A's have gone a week without scoring 11 runs, and they scored 11. Easy. I mean, everything, it was too easy. It was too easy. And it's funny as we listen to the broadcast and Greg Brown keeps talking about, gosh, how tough it is to slog through. It's such a bad season. Like, we don't know. Like, we haven't been watching it up close and personal, that we haven't lost a bunch of games, 11-2, and couldn't turn double plays and couldn't do all that. Yeah. I mean, and yeah, like I said, I tweeted it out earlier. This game had a very 2022 vibe to it. It's this last year's Pirates, and that's a lot of the same people there. So
yeah, for the record, just watching games against the A's sucks in general. These games just feel so slow because no strikes get thrown.
Right,
There's
it's all
a lot
just
of base
walks.
runners.
Right, yeah, it's an Andy Haynes dream come true. Everybody's just taking pitches. It's just awful.
Nobody on the mound can throw a strike, and apparently that's contagious because Mitch Keller couldn't today as well. And just to finish up, put a tidy bow on the Mitch Keller, now up to a 3.60 ERA on the year. That's a lot less encouraging than I think we were looking at about a month ago, but it happens. The big decision, I think, is I don't understand why he came back out for the 6th.
Yeah. I try not to get too hung up on that stuff, but it was interesting, right? He had not looked good, but I think we were counting on him for innings today. I think that was his one.
I don't think they needed to. Oviedo just went 7.
Yeah. I mean, I know, but we only had, I think they said earlier we had 4 pitchers available last night, and we used 3 of them to get out through 2 innings. And obviously you weren't going to pitch Bednar in a game like this. I would have preferred not to bring him in. I guess it didn't matter because,
yeah. Johan Ramirez comes in after that. He's given up piss missiles all over the ballpark as well.
Right.
So
and if it's not going to be sooner or later, Chase DeYoung was going to this game, right? Whether
I think I can go ahead and update our ticker right now to Chase DeYoung has been DFA'd again.
Yeah, hopefully, banned from the city limits, or
the first time,
unless he's on the opposing team.
The first time around that he did, it might be coming across here soon as well. Chase DeYoung clears waivers outright into AAA. We could probably just go ahead and leave that up and
just leave that there. Leave it there. Right there, it is. Yeah, I was on his bandwagon last year. I know the advanced analytics did not support his success, but I thought, man, he's just one of those guys that seems to get out somehow. Whew, boy, has it caught up? Has last year's success balanced out? Has there been a regression to the mean? He has come crashing back to earth. And if this team is at all serious, and honestly, I don't think they are, but if they were at all serious about winning this year, winning a division that's right there for the taking, he would be gone. He'd already know. He'd already be given the information, and somebody would be coming from AAA. I don't know who.
Let's be honest. On no planet would he already be on this roster if this team was serious at all.
Right. He shouldn't have brought back. Right. He should not have come back. He seems like a nice guy. He has a nice story. He stinks. That's not the concern of winning teams, right? Listen, we DFA'd him once, and the Oakland A's did not claim him.
That is a very fair point.
What more do you need to know?
And they need innings as much as anybody.
Right. They need arms. So, yeah.
So, I guess this is their swan song, Chase DeYoung. I hope I don't have to see you again, buddy.
Right. Yeah. Good luck. Godspeed.
Yeah. Have a great life.
Yeah.
Preferably outside the Pittsburgh city limits.
I'm not mad at you. I bear you no ill will. I really don't want to see you pitch for us again.
Yeah. So that's where we're at with him. Pitching wise, that's about all that happened, aside from maybe if you want to touch on Jose Hernandez. He continues to pitch well.
Yeah. He is one of the better arms in our bullpen right now. It's hard to refute that. We've seen, there seems like we've had a stretch of guys who put together a couple, great outings, and you're convinced that they're the real deal. Robert Stevenson with his 1.8 ERA, who then couldn't get anybody out for the next 3 outings. So, hopefully this. I mean, hats off to Ben Cherington, because when they put out the list of who's the best players available in the Rule 5 draft, he wasn't on the list. He wasn't on any list anywhere, and Cherington took the guy who just had no control at Double A, and he's not walking anybody. He looks terrific. He's getting. I mean, obviously tonight was not a leverage situation, but they're giving him more and more rope, and he seems to answer the bell every time. So I look forward to watching him, and he's fun to watch pitch. I look forward to watching him, and hopefully he'll continue. And it'd be nice to see him as a 7th inning guy, maybe pitch the 8th inning once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I like what I see out of him. I think it's just a repeat of everything I've been saying. I'd like to see him in a little higher leverage situation every now and then.
Right.
Take away whatever innings they were giving Robert Stevenson, maybe throw him Jose Hernandez's way. Maybe whatever you gave Rob Zastryzny last night, maybe you give that to Jose Hernandez instead.
Nicely done on the pronunciation. I
know.
didn't think that was going to come up. It used Zastryzny that right out of here. That was nicely done.
All right.
I've been practicing as well.
Let's just move on to the offense. I don't know. Jim mentions it in the chat here. 0-4 with runners in scoring position tonight. Pirates score 2 runs. 1 run's on an error, another run on a fielder's choice. Just absolutely pathetic.
Right.
Non-competitive at bats, pathetic.
Yeah. Yeah. Hayes had a hit, so he's hit 6 in a row. I guess that's the maybe only encouraging thing that Reynolds had a hit. Nobody did anything, right? I mean, a bunch of guys got walked 2 times, it seems like. I mean, there's, I would like to expound. Sawinski over, he seems to be. I thought this would be a series for him in this game in particular, because it's a guy with an ERA of 8. He seems to feast on the bad pitching of the Nationals and the Rockies and that sort of thing. And nope. So Castro had a hit. But not much to speak of. And not stringing anything together. It seemed to once again have guys on the base pass, all over. And
just about every inning there were runners at first and second with less than 2 outs.
Right. And
just about every inning. And I think twice Jack Sawinski got up. He had meatballs down the middle and he missed them.
Right.
He just missed them. And it's going to happen. It happens to professional baseball players. Yeah. You can't square everything up, but for God's sake, you got to find at least one barrel there.
Well, right. And again, it's against a guy with an ERA of 8. I get it when you don't do it against, Verlander. It's like, all right, hey, sometimes, you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. But like these are, we might not have been able to score 11 runs. We should have had 6 or 7, right? Against this pitching staff, against this team. I mean,
they did not do little things well today. They had runners at first and second so many times, and they just refused to move them over. Right. Everyone's trying to play hero ball.
Yeah,
a lot of pop flies.
They were looking for the big inning.
We're looking for that 3-run homer.
And we're not that team. No, those aren't those. We don't have those hitters. There's very few guys on this team that you can consistently count on for a home run. So, disappointing. A very disappointing effort, approach, execution. The whole thing. You get nervous with this team, right? I mean, we're none of us are sold yet on how good this team is, and yesterday's offensive performance was pretty bad for most of the game, right? And tonight's again was pathetic, and tomorrow's pitcher, we'll see. But
and I think I'd like to question how long we're keeping Jack Sawinski in this 3-hole. I don't really need to see him hit there that often.
Yeah, I don't like that either. And I haven't been on the Sawinski bandwagon, but he has done enough, obviously, to earn at bats for the rest of this season and probably sometime into next season. I mean, the power is, to say the buzzword for North Shore 9, intriguing. But he should not be hitting third. I mean, I don't even care, if he has the 2 home run game the day before. He is not at this point of his career a number 3 hitter for a team that wants to win. I mean, he right now he and Hayes should be 6 and 7, something like that. You know, you give me 2 months of good solid production, okay, we'll move you up, but
Yeah.
not a weekend's worth. Not
Right.
especially with Sawinski, because he is. I don't know if streaky's the right word. He has bursts, bursts where I help you win 7.
He is a flash in a bottle a couple times.
Yeah, exactly. He'll help you
Lightning
win.
in a bottle.
He'll help you win 5 out of 7
Flash
games,
pan,
and
lightning in
then
a bottle, all that stuff.
do nothing for 30, the next 28 games or something like that.
Yeah,
So
I would love to find somebody that can actually like do a mathematical equation to
Right.
find a real value of what.
Because Ward does not seem,
No,
OPS does. I mean, he's got an 800 OPS, but he he's 1 for 19, and then he has 2 home runs and 3 hit, and it's like, oh, there. I don't buy into it. It seems to me he's helping us lose more games than he's helping us win. Again, hitting 2 home runs in a game we score 18 runs.
Right.
He's
also hitting in a situation there with McCutcheon and Reynolds ahead of him. He's going to have a lot of high leverage at bats.
Right.
He's got to be able to move runners over. He's just not. They're not putting him in a spot where Jack Sawinski can just be a free swinging Jack Sawinski.
Yeah, those things aren't in his toolbox yet. He's not. I don't feel comfortable with him. Oh yeah, Jack Sawinski's going to have a productive out. That's not what he's doing at this point. He's an all or nothing kind of guy. So put him down there, and it's fine.
Let him free swing his way to the 7-hole.
Yeah. Right. I mean, again, I want to see him get at bats. I want to see if he can get some consistency. And I wouldn't have said that even probably 2 months ago. So he's definitely. I've warmed up to the potential there. But yeah, I don't want to see him 3, 4, 5, nothing like that. 6 against a righty, in 7th or 8th if he's playing against a lefty. And I don't even really want to see too much of that because that's just dreadful. Yeah, he draws a walk.
Right. And then just one more little nitpick about the lineup that I just have to do. On no planet do I ever in a million years want to see Josh Palacios hit in front of Brian Hayes. I don't need to see this ever happen again.
Right.
That might have been the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I looked at that lineup card. I'm like, what the hell is this? That's just stupid.
I mean, I suppose, but I mean, Brian Hayes doesn't exactly,
Josh Palacios sucks.
Yes, I know. Well, he's right. He's not long for this world, right? He's the next guy, right? I mean, when they bring somebody up, be it, a middle infielder, Peguero, or one of the catchers, like Palacios is the guy that's going, right? And hopefully never to be seen again. Again, good luck, Godspeed. And I wish you well on your journey. But So I'm not going to get too hung up. Right. I don't want to move Hayes around too much. I don't want to get, like I said, I don't want to buy into Hayes yet. I'm like I said, I'm at the point, Hayes, Castro, Sawinski, let's talk about it on October 3rd. And then we can make, and I don't know if we're going to have the answers. It seems that these guys, and Hayes does look a little better here in the past week or 4 to 5 days. But Sawinski and Castro, I get the feeling we're kind of seeing what they are. And hey, play Castro against every lefty, right? He, as DiNardo said, he's Mookie Betts from just small doses.
These guys in their hyperboles.
I mean, yeah, we like we have a young Juan Soto, right hand.
We have a prime Juan Soto.
It is prime Juan Soto, a right-handed Mookie Betts. And I compared Keller. I didn't compare, but I did compare his outing to Maddox. But I was very specific that it was about that specific outing. This outing, I did not. I compare him to Chase DeYoung in this.
Meanwhile, we bring a guy up and I give a comparison of like John Van Benscoten.
Yeah, yeah. You're a little. That's why they love you, right? Yeah.
I don't know about love.
You're keeping it real. Right. Well, one of the easiest things to do anytime someone comes up is say he's going to suck because most people do. This is a really hard sport to play.
Hey, you're catching on to my game here.
Yeah, you're going to be right most of the time.
And especially when your GM tends to not be good at finding talent, you're really going to be right.
Well, he's, he seems obsessed with busted out first round picks. He really believes in his development abilities and the organizational, and there's no reason why, right? He's brought in so many of these guys that crushed it at AAA, and have a terrible track record in the majors. But he's like, oh, let me go get Alfred. Oh, let me go get He's just on, and it's not been working. Hopefully, right? We thought that would stop somewhat this year. I mean,
it's not stopping.
It has to, though, right? I mean, pretty soon.
They just got another one in the Stevenson deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. and we got one in the Heineman deal, I think, too, right? I mean, we a bunch of, again, his favorite thing, middle infielders that can't hit, can't play shortstop, and aren't really much of a second baseman either, and are awful in the outfield. But we're going to get them at bats there. We're going to get them innings out there.
Oh, God. Let's get out of here, Doug.
Yeah, right.
Probably try to wrap series up tomorrow and avoid the embarrassment of a series loss to the Oakland Athletics. Thankfully, they are avoiding a sweep because the A's are just so bad.
Yeah, right. We count on the A's to be the A's, but the Pirates might be the Pirates. So it's where's Jim Rosati? Can we get him at
Yeah.
He's not at the game, so he's in Tampa or something, I think. All right.
Let's get the heck out of here.
All right, yeah.
All right, here's Jim's stupid face. I don't know the plan tomorrow. It's an afternoon game.
I'm guessing it's going to be Cody.
I don't know if he's still in Pittsburgh. I'm not sure.
All right, yeah.
So we'll figure out tomorrow.
All right, yeah. Check back tomorrow and read the newsletter. There might be a cookie recipe.
Yeah, do that. You got a cookie recipe coming up from Kenny, I think. All right, we're out. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
See you guys.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.